Hey guys, it's Josh. So I'm just going to run through my takeaways from the immersion course. Maybe a slight deviation from my initial after action report, but I think all of you guys will find it useful. So firstly, preparedness. So at first I thought the biggest thing that I would really need to be prepared for is physical training. So for a long time I had adjusted my training to do a lot of pack marching, a lot of swimming, more push-ups, more pull-ups. Sit-ups were difficult and I knew I was going to struggle with that. So even going into PT and we were asked, to do 50 push-ups in 2 minutes, I'd already struggled to do that with a tight shoulder, and I was just thinking, surely you're not struggling in the first 2 hours. What's this for preparedness? Like, you really aren't ready to tackle this. And then when it came to sit-ups, that was also another struggle, and I realized going into it, I was wanting that eye-opening experience, and that's exactly what I got even from the get-go, from that PT drill, because I realized I wasn't setting an example in PT. I wasn't exceptional. I was definitely not thriving. I was merely surviving, which in the role that I want to, take on in the Commando regiment is something where you do need to be a leader and you need to have confidence in yourself. And even if you're struggling, you need to find a way to get through it. And I did find a way, but definitely not thriving. It was merely surviving situation. Following on from that, I would also take a look at what Lee had said to me in the after action report about being the grey man. Wasn't necessarily at the front, getting everyone to unite around me or unite around a common cause. And I wasn't at the back. I wasn't a straggler. I wasn't dead weight. I wasn't asking people to carry my shit for me. I wasn't trying to shirk responsibility, but at the same time, I can admit there were moments where I needed to probably put myself more in the fire. What are the other things that I could be doing? Who else could I be carrying a pack for? Who could I be with that voice right next to them? Either fucking screaming at them if they needed it, or just being that supportive voice and just reminding them that we need to break each of these phases down. Don't think about the grand scale of what we're trying to do. When it comes to a sense of urgency, I just remember when just before we started Jiu-Jitsu, I remember Shep had said to us, go back to your packs, men, and then we just meandered on over there. We just started walking very casually. And then he asked us to come back and he said, that's not good enough. Your standards are already slacking. You need to move with a high sense of urgency. And I think about that in my daily life where when I go to the gym, I'm moving with a sense of urgency. When I am walking through the train station or walking through the office, I'm always walking with a sense of urgency. But one thing I do notice is that when I'm in a comfortable environment, let's say especially at home, and let's say there's a deadline for me to get ready for work, more often than not I'm late because I just get caught up in what routine I'm used to, which is just being calm when you're at home. No real sense of urgency. And when I think I have a sense of urgency, I realize I'm making very silly mistakes. I'm causing myself to walk in directions that I don't need to. Instead of going to grab multiple items from one place, I'll grab one, come back, grab one, come back, leading to a lot of waste of time and not really fine-tuning that urgency. So if you guys can take away anything from this, it's do what you can to really be prepared for, life's difficult situations, whether that's being that shoulder, that someone can cry on because you need to be that stable force, that powerful force for someone to lean on. Also, leaning on your own abilities. What are your strengths? Without ignoring what your weaknesses are, because those things will definitely compromise your ability to be prepared.